Cuomo handling the nursing homes.
Yeah.
Do you agree with these other panel candidates? Did he handle this properly or improperly?
Yeah, and I'm doing an analysis of all of those candidates to see who was around at the time. I was here at the time, and many of those candidates were home shelter in place. I was in the streets. I was in the streets dealing with COVID with real people, nurses and doctors. I was giving out masks and NYCHA. All of these other candidates, they were home. They were home while New Yorkers were suffering. And he incorrectly handled the nursing home issues. I think those family members are right, and I met with them, and I'm going to be communicating with them further. But also, if you go back, doing analysis back then, there was racial disparity in how he dealt with even vaccines. You know, Black and brown communities were not being fairly vaccinated. We were not giving out face masks to NYCHA residents. Many of our nurses in hospital did not have PPEs as they were deserved. I remember going to some of the hospitals. They had garbage bags on, and they were using PPEs, the face masks for weeks. And then many people miss, you talk about Elmhurst Hospital, it was because of defunding and destabilizing those hospitals that when they became ground zero, they were not prepared. And so we need to do a real analysis. And so when I look at, some of my Black and brown endorsers of the former governor, they need to go look at what I was saying back then of how COVID was unfairly treating and the responses was unfair to the diverse Black and brown communities. The impact was real, and we need to analyze that. All of this needs to be part of the conversation as we talk about what we're going to do in the future. Someone say, well, he's a great manager. Well, you darn sure didn't manage that crisis well, like I managed COVID and like I managed 230,000 migrants and asylum seekers, and like I was able to get the bond raters to say no matter what fiscal crisis you were facing, you recovered us, and like I brought more jobs in the city and the city's history, and like I took 22,000 guns off our streets and brought down homicides and shootings. That's what I call a good manager. How was that, Marsha?